We have a panel discussion on Indian publishing deals, and we have our panelists. Amit Goel from Superslike, Himanshu Marwani from Zigma, Deepak Al from Roche, Shailesh Prabhu from Yellow Monkey, and we have a moderator, Vijay Sinha from Hike. I would request Vijay to take it on.
All right, guys, welcome. This is the panel for Indian publisher deals. Just a quick question. How many of you people have worked with a publisher before? Any hands? No? All newbies? Wonderful. How many developers? That's an odd question to ask, but I see. Okay, interesting. Well, I have with me a bunch of questions. I'm actually filling in for Shailesh. Unfortunately, Shubhank. Might as well be Shubhank and Shailesh. We actually have one person short, Chirag Chopra from Lucid Labs. So if he does come later, he'll be joining us. Thank you. Why are these so small? All right, so I think let's do a quick intro. I would just like to go down the aisle and please introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Shailesh. I am from Yellow Monkey Studios, and we've mostly interacted with, we've never signed up with an Indian publisher, but we've mostly interacted with them during releases for all of our games. Finger Footy, it's just a thought. Well, it's just a thought, we weren't really interacting with them. But then again with Hubrix and Sociaball, we were at least like out in the market trying to fish around for deals and stuff like that.
You guys can use the mic, actually.
Hello. Yeah, my name is Deepak Gail. So, I was part of the founding team of India Games way back in '97. So I think this is my first session in Nasscom GDC. And so I've been doing gaming for a long time. Have been developer, went from developer to publisher, and now back to indie studio. And yes, we have signed up with Electronic Arts for our next game, and that's where we can add whatever we're going to add to this discussion.
Cool.
Hello, my name is Himanshu. Sometime back I quit my job and started my indie journey. I'm working on a game called Super Nano Jumpers, and which won the PGC Connect at Bangalore, big indie pitch. So I was offered a few publishing deals, but I'm thinking of self-publishing it and go through the self-publishing route. So.
Hi, I'm Amit. I'm from Superslike Games. Our latest game is called One More Run, and I've talked to a lot of publishers, mostly Indian, but a couple of international ones as well. We haven't really signed up with anyone yet, but essentially that's the perspective that I bring into this discussion.
All right, cool. Very nice. You guys can hear them, right? Are they speaking? Yeah? Cool. So before we start off, I'd just like to give a big round of applause for all these guys taking their time coming here. Had to do that at least once. All right, let's get started. I have with me a list of questions. I believe these are from you or Shubhank. Shubhank, Mario had actually made these questions. So the first question, I think I will have Deepak answer it. Do you see any merit in publishers at all today? I mean, in this day and age? And what are you what are you realistically looking at for a publisher deal?
So what's the first part? Does it make sense?
Does it make sense for you?
Oh, yeah, it absolutely makes sense. It depends on, what you are doing, where you are, in what time, situation you are. You are an indie developer, you have a company, you are, how many man team. So it's a bit, the game is different now. It's no longer like, you can, it's like you can have a great game which is lying on the store, which has not been discovered. So if you have that power to do that discovery, then you can do that self-publishing. But that discovery takes money today, or your product has to be so great that Apple or a Google has to feature you. So if you think that can be possible, yes, the step of doing a self-publishing is good. But if you think your product is good and it needs to, and you are worried about discovery, I think so you can talk to publishers and see when we are doing it. So I have come out of India Games and Walt Disney. I have seen we had a catalog. Okay, we had a huge catalog. If I do a cross promotion inside that catalog of one product itself, I can acquire users. But when I'm doing fresh, this is my first game that's going out in the market.
Right.
I just don't have anything on the store to do this. So we felt that the game has come out well. Is there a chance for us to go out and look for a publisher who can do justice to this product and who can add on to this and who will love this? Is why we went out and we did this whole thing, and finally we got EA to sign this.
Nice.
So now we think it's. I don't know whether this will be a success. So it will still have to go out. It has to make money. We'll figure out how it happens. But I think so. They are in a better position than what we are to do justice to that product.
Cool. Himanshu, how about you?
Yeah, so I think that self-publishing, it's not the same thing anymore. 3 years back, it was very different case. But now, any indie developer can self-publish. They can go for self-publishing. If your game can stand out in the market, Apple developers, actually they reach out to developers. If you contact them, they'll get in touch with you. If your game is good enough, then you can go for the self-publishing route. Because in today's world, as I have the equal chance as any big company. That's what I believe. That's my opinion. It can be wrong. But I think if I have a good game and I believe in my game, you can make it in the market. So
I sort of agree with Deepak over here that publishers are very relevant.
Can you guys hear him?
No.
Speak just a little bit louder. Just raise the volume a bit. Try now.
Yeah, testing. Is it better now? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I agree with Deepak that publishers, especially in today's times, are very relevant. So yes, there's always space to kind of go out there and make it on your own, and a lot of people do that. But there are a lot of developers out there making a lot of great games. So visibility is going to be a challenge. There's no two ways about it, right? Even on the App Store, there are limited slots where you can be featured. At one point, they're going to run out. So somewhere, having that support system, especially people who have the means to get your game out there to a lot of people, having that kind of a support system is relevant in today's day and age. And yeah, that's what I feel.
Fair enough. Shailesh, how about you?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a tricky question, I think, because yes, I do agree with Deepak and with Amit that publishers can play a role, but it depends on what you want to do with your game. If you want to make, I don't know, millions of dollars, then probably it's a bit more difficult to do it on your own. Or you can, like as we saw with, I don't know if anyone attended Hendrik's talk yesterday, they have 140 million downloads with no publisher and nothing else. And they're doing really great stuff. And there are many more stories like that. So it's possible, but it's hard. That said, if you do sign up with a publisher, it doesn't become automatically easy. And there is no guarantee that the publisher can get you featured or whether their cross promotions will work. So all in all, it's just like different strategies. Publishers work better for free-to-play games. So if your game is paid, I would say there's no point in a publisher. That's just my view. But yeah, so I think you should just be careful about what you want to do with your game, what model you are following, what territories you're targeting, and then work your way from there if you want to sign up with a publisher or not.
Cool. Very nice. Moving on from there, so I'm assuming all of you have worked with Indian publishers, specifically in India.
Not work, but at least
Been approached.
We have all interacted.
conversations with
We have all had
Involved
a
with-
conversation. We have interacted, yeah.
Right, so can actually some of you talk about your experiences with them, any sort of major hindrances that you might have faced? No one.
That's a very broad question, so you'll have to be a little more specific.
Okay, so based on your experience with Indian publishers, whether you've worked with them or not, what has been that experience like for you? Has it been mostly positive? Have there been some hindrances that you face, any
I think
difficulties?
basically why you didn't sign up with them. Because I know you didn't sign up with them, and you didn't sign up with them, and you didn't sign up with them, and I hadn't signed up. What was that major thing that...
See, the reason, it's got nothing to do with Indian or Western, to be very honest. The reason why I would go to a publisher is because I believe in my game, but I believe they have better expertise in getting my game out there to a number of people. It's not just about them coming up to me and telling me that, hey, we can do this, we have so many users, we have so many games on our platforms. I would like to see confidence in what I'm doing, confidence in my product to show. When you talk to someone, you can see how confident they are about what you have to offer as well. And the primary reason I've not worked with publishers till now is that honestly, I could not see that kind of confidence come from the other side to make me say, yes, let's do this. Because, see, there's a certain amount of risk, right? Even when you go with a publisher, it's not just your game, it's their game, it's their risk as well. So obviously they come in as partners, they want certain number of changes. There will be some compromises, right? And you are willing to accept those compromises as well. That is why you go out to a publisher. So for that step forward, you want another step forward from the other side, and that sometimes just doesn't show. So that has been the primary reason why I have till now not worked with any publisher.
Okay. I think what you said earlier is also very important. Regardless if it's an Indian publisher or not, the experiences can be similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Deepak, how about you?
I don't, everyone has their own strategy, right? I think today some of the big Indian publishers are focusing on something where the story is. And the story is that if you look at some of the funding rounds that have happened, it's all India story. Okay, when we started our company, I spent 7 years in Indian market. So my previous role was interacting with OEMs and telcos and doing managed services for telcos. So I completely get the point that the money is in all money that you can make is telco. I think so. That's what Rishi is going to talk about in his next session. So I think so as a strategy, I think the Google and the iOS is something that today, if people are trying to crack, that is more for India, and even they are not ready for a global publishing.
Right.
I don't think so. They have experienced a success or experienced sort of taking a global IP and publishing it, or rather than even creating a global IP and publishing it. So that's their strategy. I don't, we have, when we did this multiplayer sniper game, we went to every Indian publisher. It was paused, it was not interesting, it didn't fit their global strategy, it didn't fit their Indian strategy, but finally Electronic Arts picked it up. So, so the product was there, it's about how you evaluate and where you want to fit that in your strategy is also important. So, but if you pick it up, then the story starts, then we can discuss this, the next thing of how you're going to treat it is then the story of how you're going to treat the product so that's what our story is, that I think we didn't fit in some of the big strategies of this in India. The bigger publishers, they have a different strategy, so we just didn't fit over there, so that's fine.
But do you think it's because those publishers might be targeting a specific audience? Do you feel that, as you said earlier, you guys?
I'll tell you, I've spent 7 years trying to sell games, or rather, I've been selling games to telcos. We targeted circle, we targeted language, we did translated products, we did Marathi, Telugu, everything. Game doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. Indian audience doesn't mean that there is nothing known as localized. Okay, so people will like a game and people will buy the game. If people have liked Candy Crush and they have bought Candy Crush. That's why it is in the top 25 selling products, including the Paytms and including everything. So I think so I just can't get it. What is localized? Okay. So are you going to say Gulli Danda? Are you going to say you're going to make Gulli Danda and people are going to, there are chances that it will work. I don't know, but I'm saying the audience, the whole exposure for the mobile industry is that, in 2007, when this market started growing, they had direct exposure to a EA content, to a Gameloft content, to a Glue content. So they have seen all the best games. So they have experienced it. And now, I don't know, they just like it. So I think if you have a good game, it will do well in India, it will do globally well, is what I feel.
All right. Himanshu, do you have something you want to get off your chest?
Yeah, so I didn't take the deal because...
Can you speak up just a little bit?
Yeah, so I didn't take the deal because I wanted to self-publish.
Okay.
But the main reason for that was because it was my first game and I wanted to try it out. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I want to take the risk and I want to see myself that how it's gonna end.
But you had been to a publisher.
Yeah, I was offered.
So you had been to a publisher, right? So
Yeah, I had a talk with them. Actually, they were asking me to change a lot of things which I was not comfortable with, like changing the art style and everything. That was changing the game completely. And
Did they want you to add Gully Danda?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, I've kind of had
See,
a similar experience. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I was saying that, publishers asking developers for changes is something which is inevitable, but attributing this to Indian publishers only is also not completely fair, because I've had interactions with international publishers who asked me for more ridiculous changes than any other Indian publisher. So
Really?
so it's not like see, a publisher will always want your game to fit perfectly with his strategy, and you will always want the vision of your game to be intact. So there is bound to be friction over there.
But then it's also about, like not every publisher is good. Just because it's Western, it's not going to be like everyone is good there and everyone's bad here. It's not that, right?
No, it's not that.
Yeah. So
no, I think the strategy, see, this is no longer a hobby. Okay, this is not a hobby. This is not a pastime. This is real business now. Okay, this is not your this is not your 1 year course or 2 year course. I think so. This is serious business. There will be some, like when we are working with electronic arts today, there are changes coming, and now you need to principally figure out whether these changes would make any different to the product. And there is, I know there is ego, there is emotion, there is a lot of stuff that everyone thinks, what I think is the right thinking, but you will mature enough to understand that some of these values and this feedback can be important. So yeah, you can stick to your gun. Listen, this is the core loop. I'm not going to change this. But if in that core loop, if you think that something can add and that core loop becomes better, why not? I'll tell you that we were ready to do we were ready with the game in the month of March. We thought we are ready. Okay, so when we started interacting, it's not that we didn't know what they were saying, that we were just ignoring because we thought we were ready. We were impatient, we were lazy, and we implemented. And we knew that we had to do this, but we don't know. We were waiting for someone to tell us, okay, you implement this, and now we will implement this. So this is, if those are the implementations which are good.
So the point that I was trying to make was that all of us will have a limit to which. Right?
Definitely.
So for example, the reason why Himanshu may not have accepted a deal
Yeah.
could be because the change maybe challenged the very idea of the game that he had when he made it. And
Yeah, he won a prize for
beyond the
that. He
point-
won first prize for that, and you want to change the graphic.
Yeah.
yeah, I think
so,
with us,
the art
it-
style-
Oh, sorry. With us, it was equally obscure. I think we had a minimal puzzle game, and we were asked by publishers to include mythological Indian character into it, and I'm like, that makes
Which game was this, by the way?
Socioball and Hubrix.
So they wanted
Both.
mythological characters
Yeah.
represented as balls.
No, represented in the game. Somehow.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to establish
It's
context
like,
here.
wait, what? This makes zero sense. And so sometimes you'll have obscure random changes like that demanded, and sometimes they will be like more sensible things that will push you to polish the game. And in the end, it depends on what, where you want to go with your game. So I really didn't want to take it down a confused minimal puzzle game with a character running around in it. So I said no. Yeah.
So coming back to the story, you can decide whether you want to do self-publishing, and whether you want to go with a publisher like Chilingo.
Which is actually ties to our next question. I'm going to segue here. What advice would you actually give other devs who are negotiating deals with publishers, regardless if they're Indian or not?
See,
I would say don't be afraid to ask for stuff. Like, they're going to ask you for a lot of
Be
changes.
shameless.
Yeah,
Absolutely
They're going to
shameless.
ask you for a lot of changes and a lot of things, but you also have an equal right to ask them what are they giving you. Are they giving you minimum guarantees? Are they giving you marketing? What kind of marketing support they're giving you? In what territories? What kind of user acquisition are they promising you? And if they're not promising you anything, that they're not really adding any value, and you're probably better without them.
See, as I told you, right, the success story can happen individually, the success story can happen with a publisher, a failure can happen with a publisher too. Okay, I will tell you what our viewpoint was when we decided why we should go to a publisher. We thought the game has come out well. We published a game before that, known as Nitro Rush. We knew what our capacity is with this current startup of spending money and doing a discovery. And we thought the game has come out well. Let's go to the publisher. Now, what were we trying to identify? There are publishers that can give you MG, there are publishers who can take you globally. Okay? We didn't have the bandwidth to grow territory-wise, right? So.
But do publishers offer MGs?
Oh yeah, they do offer MGs. So, you need to be shameless, absolutely shameless, asking, don't worry, they will say no, that's what, you have an option. So yeah, you can ask for, you do ask for MG, and it depends how hard you negotiate.
But I think that's also been up and down over the years. Like, there was a phase when they were a lot, then they stopped, and now they are again. And
so sometimes now free to play has become tough, not everyone is willing to do that MG route. So, you'd be very lucky if you find people, or, if your game is good, if you can demand, you can ask. It's a situation. It's like you have something and somebody is desperate to acquire it, they will give you an MG. But, if that content is already there in his catalog, or it's available in the market, or it's not done well, they'll say, okay, let's figure out how we can go live. But identify your publisher, what you want. If you have made it a global product, figure out whom do you want to go. So we thought, as a sniper game, we had a limited option. I couldn't have gone to Rovio, or I couldn't have gone to Big Fish. I couldn't have gone to so many, but I went. I showed them Sniper because I just wanted to tell them, listen, this is from India, this is good, this is a great product, you should see this, okay? So, but I knew that the story is not going to happen over there. So when for us it was the glue, it was the EA, these were a limited sets of publisher who would do a Sniper.
So pretend I'm a publisher and
Yeah.
I'm Rovio. I'd ask you to put Angry Birds in your Sniper game. Would you do it?
Would you ask that?
Well, we have Angry Birds Star Wars. I'm just thinking, would it make sense for you?
How much money are you going to give me to make that game?
Good question.
I would actually like to know if any of you could share anything about the. I had a question about it actually. Why do you lock your phone? It's so much work. Oh yes, the rev share impacts. Excuse me.
I guess that depends on how much MG they give you.
Okay.
I mean, if you're getting $100,000, obviously the rev share is going to go down a lot. If it's $10,000, it may be without rev share. If it's $25,000, it may move from 70-30 to 60-40. So it's super contextual, I think.
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
I don't know.
So I have been a publisher, right? So I know that revenue share really is important. It's not about you can do a 80-20 deal, 80 to you and 20 to the publisher, but would you want to do that? What is there for the publisher to make then? Would he spend money? Would he do any marketing? Will it get a positive ROI? I don't think so. It's going to happen. So, a 50-50 is also a good deal depending on how and what the deal is. Traditionally it would be a 70-30 is what now has become like a tradition. So if you leave that, even, you can negotiate. So there are deals that people have done on 80-20, 70-30, I have done, during our Disney days, we have done a deal. Because we were desperate, we wanted to make sure we had 5,000, 10,000 odd games, because that was a type of business, that was a different, it was a different business. But yes, so you can negotiate. I think so you should leave some bit off for the big publishers to make money. So if they do a marketing spend on you, if they say that, oh, I am going to do a marketing spend, you need to have that logic that unka bhi ROI should, banna chahiye. So give them some bit of money so that they will spend. But or you can do, you know, whatever. Till 10,000 you are this much. After a million it becomes this much. Whatever. You can do this all sort of deals that you want to do.
I actually have a question for Deepak over here. But marketing spends are anyway coming out from the revenue of the game before any revenue. Like, I have not seen deals where they are willing to spend money and not recoup it from the
Oh, no,
revenue. that the
there
game-
are deals like that.
Okay.
They
Then I
do.
haven't
It
seen
depends
those.
on this. If they like your game
See,
enough,
there is.
they will.
I'm saying there is, you know, I'm saying nobody has told us that we will recoup our marketing. You know, then why would you go to them?
Exactly.
You know, that's what they have to add. That's the expectation, right? So I created a product, I'm looking for somebody to market it. And, you know, I want your help so that, you know, so all the people can discover my product. This is why we are going to a publisher. Today, when I'm going to a publisher, I also want some feedback on the product. I want you to tell me what it is, whether this is good, bad, what can you do. The system has changed, like the Indian, the whole mindset has to change where, you know, how many, if anybody, has anybody worked with an Indian publisher? Yeah?
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, and were you ever assigned a producer for your product? Yeah. So yeah, so you know, I haven't seen much of guys who pick up a product and then, you know, how going about it with a producer attached to it, giving you feedback. Okay, this is what we need to change. This is what we need to see. This is what, you know, it's a full-time job. It's a full-time work for that one producer who is lined up with us to share the feedback with us. So I think so, you know, that's a serious publishing. It is not taking this, you know, ये बिस्किट का पैकेट है, ये आज फीचर किया नहीं चला, कल सेकंड पेज पे आया नहीं चला, थर्ड पेज पे आया नहीं चला, अरे दीपक तेरा प्रोडक्ट नहीं चल रहा, अरे
But a lot of publishers do commoditize games. They're like, okay, you know, it's just another game. And
no, I'm saying that you can
like-
pull out, you can
Yeah,
pull it
yeah.
out from here and, you know, give a feedback. It didn't work because ABCD didn't work. You go back,
But-
change
but
it,
that
come
I,
back.
that I guess is the gap between the Indian and global publishing industry that we're talking about. Right? Maybe,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I said, my experience, I haven't really seen any deals where marketing is not recouped.
Okay.
And for
is
me,
not?
like marketing is first recouped from the revenue made, and then the revenue share kind of happens. Now, to me, it does not make sense again because marketing is essentially what the publisher is bringing to the table. But see, here's the deal. Now you have a game, you have a really great game that you make, and you feel that in the right circumstances, in the best possible conditions, this game can make, say, $100,000, and you go out to publishers with that hope. Okay, I can't do it myself. I'm going to get a publisher on board who's going to help me get to that number. And you talk to everyone, and everyone gives you these conditions, and then eventually you will reach a point where say, okay, it looks like I can make $20,000 or $30,000, but if I do it myself, I'm not even going to make that much, and that is where the compromises start to happen, which you are not exactly comfortable with.
Okay.
I think I heard someone talk about negotiation, and they said the negotiation is not win-lose, it's always win-win. So I think developers need to think about publishers winning, and publishers also need to think about developers winning, and then you can both win together.
That thinking is rare.
That's rare, but that's the right relationship that you should look for.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna actually move on to the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
question,
yeah.
if that's all right.
Actually,
It's a little bit. Actually, it's about. Oh, wonderful. We have 10 minutes left.
Because that they started it very late.
That's all right. I wanted to actually ask about Indian IP. So apparently, a lot of Indian publishers seem to work on giving you access to Indian IP. I can't think of any specific examples. But what's your take on it? And is it worth it for you to work on Indian IPs? Like, if you wanted to make, give me like some Indian soap opera name.
Oh, well, Chota Bheem I think, is
Exactly.
doing
I
well.
don't think that's a soap opera.
No, not soap opera, but you know, it's doing well for them. I hear. If you really want access to Indian market or are trying to tap the Indian market, and you really think IP-based games are the way, then why not? Personally, I never felt that was adding value to my games. So, yeah.
Show of hands, which of you guys would work on a Bollywood IP? Yeah?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
yep, I did.
Really?
No way.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Or not?
You know, in my previous setup and in the current setup, the first game that we did was was a Singham Returns. Okay, what it did was, it gave me an organic download of 250,000 downloads. Okay, we were nothing. We were a Roosh Interactive, a blank screen. It was a first setup. And I know why it works. It works because it gives me download. What it did was, it didn't make money. It didn't make money.
Okay.
Okay, but what happened was, because somebody saw that, oh, it came on the screen, it was top 50, as a studio, how it helped was that, there were people talking about it. Oh, you did Singham, okay. And then people started calling us whether you will do work for hire. Okay, so as a strategy, it's not that I don't want to do work for hire. I will do work for hire, but it needs to make a lot of sense for us to do work for hire. But but now people have started calling us after hearing that, oh, you guys made Singham, can you do this ABCD game? I mean, that's how it helped us. So yeah, so would I still make a Bollywood game? Yeah, if it's Salman Khan, I will do it.
It has to be Salman Khan, though.
Oh, I mean, I'm just giving an example. It's not about movie. Even if there's a game on Salman Khan, I would do it, because I know that, I may not have to spend money on UA to get that 500,000, 1 million download that I want. So it's an advantage. But yeah, if it is coming with a 1 CR MG, then I don't have it.
Sorry, Himanshu, you had something to say.
So for me, I don't know. I mean, I'm focusing on the games which I would love to play, and that's what I want to make. And that's what I do with passion. For now, I may grow out of it, I mean, at later point, but I'm still at very early stage, so there's a lot of passion to make games that I, as consumer, would love to play. So yeah, that's my...
I think Arvind from Pyrodactyl said it best. You can be indie now, you can always sell out later. That was Arvind, right?
Or you can sell out now and be an indie later.
Or that.
Or you can be indie forever and broke.
Next question.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about, have any of you guys worked on alternative app stores? And if you have, what's your experience with that?
Well, he's about to work on an alternative app store. He just won the Games Bond pitch.
You can ask me maybe like a month down the line. Maybe I'll be able to tell you.
Okay, so we'll all be back here 1 month in case anyone has any questions.
Next NGDC, we can do the same panel.
Or next NGDC, that works too. Anyone else? Do you guys have any thoughts on the alternative app stores?
No.
Have you worked with or been approached by anyone as such?
We have been approached by a few, but they all needed us to incorporate additional stuff into it.
Okay.
And they
so
weren't
similar
willing-
problem with the other
Yeah,
publishers
yeah.
asking
and
for
they weren't
changes.
willing to pay for it, so we were like, okay, we don't see value in this.
Show me the G's.
It's the same thing what Hendrik said yesterday about why he didn't do Windows Phone Store, right? If the port is gonna take up more of my time, there's only 2 people. There's only so much resources we have. So unless it's really making sense for us, we're not gonna do it. We'd rather focus on something else,
Fair.
which is actually making us money. So.
Yes, Deepa.
In India, alternative stores will give you money. Yeah? Because the alternative stores are with operator billing. And I have seen operator making money. Through operator billing, there was billing, there was money, there was real money, which I don't know if you guys have seen on Google Play or the store, the iStore, but there is money. But the problem is it's a black box. Okay? There is money, but I don't know if anybody has seen the money in the alternative billing. But there is money. So, if that money comes, has the money come to you? I don't know. So I think so. When I say it's a black box, because there is a transparency issue. It's not like Google that you see that I got 100 downloads, I got X purchase a day, my 30%, and it will come to my account in the 45th day. In a telco billing, it takes 6 months for the money to come in. Money comes through circles, money comes through a lot of other regions. So, so I've been there, seen that. But there is money in all the stores. They are making insane amount of money on a Micromax store. There is incredible money on some of the try and buys that are happening. So yeah, so it is there till it is there. One try guideline of a double confirmation which happened in 2011 got your revenue down from 100 rupees to 20 rupees. One double confirmation. Now that is a problem. So when such guidelines come in, where today if you wanted to buy a game, you could just say buy. And when you say buy, it starts downloading. But now what happened was, now you had a double confirmation on everything. So you have to say buy, and then you had a pop-up screen that comes in saying, oh, really, do you want to buy? Yes, I want to buy. And that one screen got your revenue.
I mean, it could also be an accidental tap. You don't want to buy something when you accidentally tap on something.
I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah.
No, it does happen. Apparently, Kanye
There are a lot of
West's
accidents
children.
that keep happening. It even happens in the Apple Store. So I'm not saying that these accidents are created. They are beautifully created, and you won't know how it happens.
Yeah, there's some ethical mismatch there for me.
So I'm saying, yes, there is money.
Yeah.
But the story is there is money. Figure out how you can get that money. It's been 2 years after I have started up. I lost rights to one of my games, that is Sniper. Now I don't have rights to publish in India. Electronic Arts is going to go. I know how they're going to all come back to the same. If it's with Walt Disney, they will come back with Disney. But I'm saying there is money. I want to go, but you need to also have a decent catalog to negotiate revenue and all the stuff with this alternative billing stores. Yeah. So, but there is money. There is money, but you need to get that money is very important. So as I said, there is there is some bit of transparency issue. If that can get solved, everyone is making a lot of money. Trust me. On this
Question.
tour.
Should I ask this one?
Yeah, sure, whatever you feel like.
Cool. All right, so I'm actually going to flip this around for you guys. Let's say you guys become the publishers, and you guys are publishing games. So what sort of criteria would you oppose on the games you want to publish for yourselves? And what would you do in terms of how would you do rev share? How would you do MGs? Like let's put it in if you had that power.
If I was a publisher, I personally don't get the Indian market because I've grown up playing games that were global. I make games that are global. So if I was a publisher, I would be a publisher who's global. I wouldn't concentrate on the Indian market, but that's me. In terms of revenue shares and stuff, I mean, that's super contextual, but if I like a game and I want to see it to completion, I would be willing to fund the development, considering I have the money. I would still like to be a boutique publisher if I am one, like do 4 or 5 games a year, and that kind of stuff. So more premium side of publishing, I would say.
Okay.
Not necessarily mobile again.
How about you guys, Amit?
Pretty much see, I don't think that you need some very specialized content for the Indian market. I think what I would want to do is there are lots of Indian developers who are making great games. Take them out to the world, and if they do well, they're going to do well in India as well.
Okay.
So that's what I would do.
Cool. Anyone else would like to chime in?
Yeah, I agree with Shailesh and Amit, sir.
I think a lot of time we say that when is the next Angry Birds coming out from India, but then we all ask our developers as publishers to make them like Mithai Crush. Like there's a mismatch. Why are we asking for a Candy Crush, but then demanding an
It's
Indian
not
theme
Mithai
cake?
Crush, it's Mithai Mash.
Whatever that is, yeah. So I think that mismatch is not something that I enjoy. Right?
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, I think you need to be a publisher. The day you, they say, right, it's so easy to review a movie. A picture acha tha. I like Shah Rukh. Chalega.
Or Salman.
Whatever. But I think as a publisher, I think so if you can, if you have come to a stage where you can evaluate a game and you can figure out what is a good game and what is a bad game, and if you understand the commerce of that game, you should be a publisher. So yes, the game, it's no longer, as I said, it cannot be a hobby anymore. Like I don't treat it as my hobby. It was it's a passion. I started way back. All those stories are over now. Now you are like ground up in doing this as a business. So, couple of things that we have learned is that you don't need to be emotional. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Just keep it there, figure out, move ahead. And so as if I was a publisher, I think so I need to have that money to back a product, because that is what I'm going for a publisher. It's not, nothing is free. If I have made a game, I want him to spend that money. So I would rather, so that's my same principle. If I don't, people have come to me asking whether you can publish.
Yes,
I was going to ask you this question, like since you're painting such a pretty picture, we're all big publishers, why don't you tell us how much money we have as well, and then we can tell you what kind of games we'll publish.
I think we're out of time.
I believe it's time for Q&A. So do we have a mic to give out to the crowd right now? Or we can take this one.
Oh, they also have another one. So they have mics.
What are your thoughts on, why haven't we got, say, a crossing road out of India yet?
Sorry, what's the question?
Why haven't we got a crossing road out of India yet? I mean, he's
Why-
also...
why
Isn't that
haven't-
Skatelander?
We already got it from
Why
Australia.
don't we have a crossy road out of America? Why don't we have a crossy road out of
Already
New
there out,
Zealand?
it's
No, crossy
come
road
out of
is
Australia. हो गया.
What exactly is the question, though?
My question is, he's also working on somewhere which is not very big.
Is the mic working? I don't think the mic is
No,
working.
no.
Yeah.
Why don't you stand up and like shout, loudly say the question?
So yeah, I'm saying that he is developing something out of, his own mind. That is something that even independent developers here do. And what do you think he did well, and what do you think?
So I've known Matt for 2000, since 2011. And I've followed his games and I've been in touch with him constantly. And he has constructed Crossy Road. It's been years of figuring out exactly what works and what doesn't work. And he's super upfront about sharing all that info. And like, so it's not been like he just woke up one day and made Crossy Road. He's a veteran in the industry, and even then he took a lot of time to figure out and get to where Crossy Road is.
That's a developer question, right? So you're asking us why we can't make a crossy road, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we bring out of India?
So that's a question
We
to a
can,
developer.
I'm sure,
we can.
I'm sure it'll come soon.
It will come one day, yeah. But I'm saying, yeah, it will come. But right now, this is a question that goes to the developer, right? So it's nothing to do with the publisher. What we
It's not a
are.
very publisher-centric. Even they are self-published, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're self-published.
except in China and Android.
Yeah, but forget China. No, they're very great. Do we have any other questions? I believe in the back here.
Yeah, you can.
Does the mic work?
There's one question there, and then there's two there.
Yeah, you
Hey, over there.
Excuse me. Can you go to the left side and give him the mic? You have to shake it really hard, like a baby.
Yeah. So you said a lot about payment as a problem, as money is there in telco, but still the.
A little louder.
Louder.
A little louder.
Yeah.
Telco, you're saying telco money is there, right?
Yeah, I heard you saying telco money is there, but it's because of the transparency issues and a lot of issues which are preventing you guys to integrate much into the telco. So what about the other fintech innovations which are happening now in India? Paytm is already there, MobiWake, Freecharge, they are already trying to solve this problem. So is there a similar problem in integrating them as well?
So if I'm understanding the question correctly,
You are asking whether you alternative payment methods, right?
Yes.
Like Paytm and stuff.
Yes.
I think Vijay has been trying to do that for a long time now. So, but I don't think that culture, even if you have a Paytm right now, you are using Paytm to pay Uber. Okay, I don't think people are using Paytm to do anything else. Like an audience like us, there are other people who are doing recharge, DTH recharge, phone recharge, and all this stuff is happening. But I don't know. I haven't integrated Paytm. I haven't tried that. I don't know whether it will work. It's a great stuff. Tell Vijay we will integrate it. Tell him to pick up some studio and do that. Yeah, try that and integrate that. But no, alternative credit card really didn't work for us. I am talking about in the last 15 years, credit card didn't work. alternative payment didn't work. The only thing that worked was operator billing.
So what is
And
that
it was billing, yeah?
So what is that one thing that operator billing, if removed, would make operator billing really useful to you? What's the one thing?
See, Google has operator billing everywhere, right? So if you see, they have this alternate payment mechanism in UK, Indonesia, a lot of countries. India, there is an issue. I don't know why it is not happening. It is just not happening. And I'll tell you, the day it happens, you will all start making money. You will all start making money the day Google integrates, and rather even I will start making money. The day Google integrates with telco, and they do a deal, and they do this deal where you get, 5 rupees is deducted, and you get that percentage of it. You will get that money. But they have to do this, yeah. It's been long. And I'll tell you, wait for that day, hold on till that day, the story will change. We will, the whole thing that there is no money in India, that story is going to change.
Do any of you guys agree with that? No? No?
I don't know.
No? I don't know?
I'll wait and watch.
Himanshu?
I'll wait and watch.
See, there are guys from Reliance, there is Rishi.
Hi, how are you?
Do you get money from telco? Yeah, you don't. But I'm saying the story is, yeah, there is money in telco, there is billing happening, and people want to purchase. How do people purchase? Yeah? I mean, I want to buy an upgrade. I want to buy a game. I just don't have a credit card. There are 200 million users to a 10 million credit card. How does it work? It will not work. So how many of you have your credit cards on your Google account, on your phone right now?
That's
Yeah.
healthy.
I mean, it's a debit card.
Yeah.
But then this is a developer conference.
Yeah, how many of you have really bought a game? After 10 rupees. Don't tell me it's after 10 rupees. It was like, did you buy a 360 rupees game?
I usually wait for the Steam sale, but
No, I'm saying it will, things, I believe the telco thing works. I think there is like this, even if that 20% of what happened after it got a double confirmation, I think so that is still money. And,
I think we have time for one more question.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So guys, in your experience with the publishers.
Can you speak into the mic?
Hello.
Yep.
So in your experience with the publishers, what are the common priorities from their side?
What are the priorities from the publisher side? The ones that you at least interacted with or worked with? We're not talking about changes per se, but just their priorities.
Their priorities or our priorities?
Publishers'
Yeah,
priorities. Publishers, right?
The publishers.
So most publishers will have benchmarks. So for example, if you have say a release game and you're going to a publisher for publishing that game, they will have benchmarks in terms of what kind of retention, day 1, day 7 retention that the game has. So they would want to deep dive into your analytics and want to understand where the game works and where it doesn't work. And and their whole approach would be that how can we fix those numbers. So one thing that anyone, if you really want to go out to publishers with your games, I highly recommend you guys use analytics and have those numbers ready. It just puts across a better face as well that you're prepared with your numbers when you go up to them, and you're talking about relevant information.
Anyone else?
That's pretty much it.
Do we have time for one more question? No? We're out of time?
Just
Okay.
one question, please.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of talk about rework when you go to a publisher. So how about you going to a publisher, with a prototype and involve him in the with his positive or with his consecutive feedback in the development process? I mean, first, do publishers accept you at that stage, and second, are they open to be involved in your development process?
So the question is about publisher feedback, especially during.
I mean, involving
signing
them in
at
the.
stage.
I see. Okay.
It's possible. It depends on your game, depends on the publisher. It's just like case by case. There are cases where I know people who've signed up with publishers with a prototype. There are cases where I've known people who've signed up with publishers with just a presentation pitch because they have such a strong track record. So I think it's super case by case. Yeah.
Yeah, it works, but it's it's like you need to figure out, at what level you want to show the entry. It's absolutely, I can tell you a story. Like when we were doing Sniper, actually, when I went and I met Big Fish. The zip sack that we won award for yesterday was in a color proto. It was absolutely, there was just box. So we had just done this proto. And I showed it to one of the producers of Big Fish. And he took it and he played it for 15 minutes. He didn't say anything. He said, cool mechanics. And now that was good enough for us to go and say that, okay, people liked it because, he spent 15 minutes of my 45 minutes meeting playing that proto. It's like, you go, there will be a feedback, they will say, okay, good, great alpha, come back to beta, show me something more, So yeah, it depends on what you call as a proto, it's a concept or, it's a polished proto, so it all depends, but it works. And the changes are going to be there from proto till there. They will have their own idea. Some of the monetization thing, we think they know better, is because they know better. So we will implement what they are saying, but that's pretty much the story.
I'm sorry to cut you guys off. We're actually out of time right now. But all the developers will be available at the conference. If any of you guys have questions, they're completely open to talk to, except Shailesh. He's a little mean.
Super mean. Don't talk to me.
But thank you guys. This has been really nice. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well.